Hello children, in the last video, the second video of Act 2 Scene 1, we saw that Gonzalo tries to comfort the king over his loss and says that they should be thankful that they survived and that the island is beautiful and may be kind to them. Gonzalo was sure that he could govern such an island if he were the king and keep it as innocent as in the golden age. So let's continue. Enter Ariel Invisible playing solemn music. Sebastian, we would sow and then go a bat fowling. A bat fowling. What is a bat fowling? Bat fowling is to catch birds with bats or poles. A very old, cruel method of catching birds. So here Sebastian says, we certainly would. Then we would go hunting birds at night by luring them to us with a lantern and smacking them out of the sky with a stick. Antonio, to Gonzalo he says, nay, good my lord, be not angry. Gonzalo says, my good lord, please don't be angry. Gonzalo, no, I warrant you. No, I warrant you means I promise you I am not. I will not adventure my direction so weakly. Adventure means compromise. He says I wouldn't risk my reputation for self-control for such a tiny thing. Will you laugh me asleep? For I am very heavy. Will you laugh me asleep means will you laugh me to sleep? For I am feeling very tired. Antonio says, go sleep and hear us. Go to sleep and we will laugh. All sleep except Alonso, Sebastian and Antonio. Everyone sleeps except Alonso, Sebastian and Antonio. Alonso says, what? All so soon asleep? What? Is everyone asleep so quickly? I wish mine eyes would with themselves shut up my thoughts. I wish my eyes would close and I could sleep so that I could stop thinking. I find they are inclined to do so. In fact, my eyes are starting to close. Sebastian says, please you, sir. Please you, sir, here means please, sir. Do not omit the heavy offer of it. Do not omit. Omit means neglect, refuse. Don't refuse the opportunity to sleep because it seldom visits sorrow. What is it here? Sleep. He says it seldom visits sorrow. Sleep rarely comes to people who are grieving. When it doth and when it comes, it is a comforter. It gives comfort. Antonio says, we too, my lord, will guard your person while you take your rest. He says, the two of us, my lord, will guard you while you rest, while you take your rest. And watch your safety and make sure that you are safe. Alonso, thank you. He says, thank you. Wondrous heavy. Wondrous heavy means I'm extremely tired. And what happens? He falls asleep. Alonso sleeps and Ariel exits. Sebastian, what a strange drowsiness possesses them. It is so strange how all of them suddenly got so tired. How is it possible? Antonio says it is the quality of the climate. There is something in the climate here. Sebastian, why doth it not then our eyelids sink? Sebastian says, then why aren't our eyelids closing if there is something in the climate? I find not myself disposed to sleep. I am not feeling tired at all. Antonio says, nor I. My spirits are nimble. Nimble means alert. I am full of energy. They fell together all as by consent. They all fell asleep together as if they had all agreed on it earlier. They dropped as by a thunderstroke. Thunderstroke means lightning. He says they fell asleep as if they had all been struck by lightning. What might, worthy Sebastian? Oh, what might? What might happen, noble Sebastian? What might happen if no more? He says, no, I shouldn't say any more. No, I won't say anything now. And yet methinks I see it in thy face what thou shouldest be. He says, and yet I think I can see in your face what potential you have, what you have the potential to be. No more. He says, no, I shouldn't say any more, and yet methinks I see it in thy face what thou shouldest be. The occasion speaks thee, means the opportunity offers itself to you, means opportunity is knocking on your door. And my strong imagination sees a crown dropping upon thy head. And my strong imagination sees a crown coming to rest on your head. Sebastian says, what? Art thou waking? Are you awake or asleep? What are you talking? Antonio says, do you not hear me speak? Don't you hear me speaking? Sebastian says, I do, and surely it is a sleepy language, and thou speakest out of thy sleep. Of course I do hear you, and it certainly sounds like the language of dreams, like you are talking in your sleep. What is it thou didst say? What is it that you said? This is a strange repose. This is a very strange sleep. To be asleep with eyes wide open, standing, speaking, moving, and yet so fast asleep. How can you be standing, speaking, moving with your eyes wide open and yet be fast asleep? Antonio, noble Sebastian, thou lettest thy fortune sleep. Means, noble Sebastian, by not seizing this opportunity, you are letting this chance sleep. You are letting this chance go. Die rather, winkest whilst thou art waking. No, you should die even while you are wide awake. Sebastian, thou dost snore distinctly. Distinctly means clearly. There is meaning in thy snores. Meaning means hint. Sebastian says, you have a strange way of snoring. It sounds like you are speaking actual words. You are speaking something very meaningful. Antonio, I am more serious than my custom. My custom means my habit. He says, I am more serious right now than I usually am. You must be so too. If heed me, which to do, trebles thee over. Trebles thee over means makes you 3 times as great. You should be too serious. If you listen to me, if you follow my advice, you will become 3 times as great, 3 times as powerful as you are now. Sebastian says, well, I am standing water. Standing means not flowing. He says, like standing water, I am not moving at all. Antonio says, okay, then I'll teach you how to flow. Then I will teach you how to move, how to act, how to move further. Sebastian says, do so. Do it then. Do that. To ebb. To ebb means to let go an opportunity. Hereditary sloth instructs me. Hereditary sloth means inherited laziness. So Sebastian says here, do that. As a younger brother who cannot inherit the throne, I am naturally very lazy. Antonio, oh, if you but knew how you the purpose cherish whilst thus you mock it. Purpose means intention and cherish means enrich. So here Antonio says, oh, if you only knew how ambitious you truly are, even while you mock ambition. How in stripping it means in delivering the language of its meaning. How in stripping it you more invest it. The more you make fun of it, the more obvious it is how much you care. Ebbing men, indeed, most often do so near the bottom run by their own fear of sloth. He says men who do nothing usually wind up at the bottom, controlled by their own fear and laziness. Sebastian, prithee, say on, please, I request you, continue. The setting of thine eye and cheek proclaim a matter from thee. The setting of thine eye means your fixed look. He says there is something in your face and eyes that indicates you are talking about something very serious. And a birth, indeed, which throws thee much to yield. Throws means labor pains. So he says here, and that, like giving birth, you are finding it hard to actually give it out, to get it out. Antonio, thus, sir, here it is, sir, although this Lord of weak remembrance here means memory. Although this Lord of weak remembrance, this who shall be of as little memory when he is earthed. Earthed means buried in grave. He's pointing at Gonzalo and he says, although this Lord with the bad memory, who won't be remembered by anyone when he is dead and buried, hath here almost persuaded, for he is a spirit of persuasion. Only professes to persuade the king his sons alive. He has almost persuaded the king. Why? Because his entire mind is focused only on persuading people. And what? That the king's son is alive. 'Tis as impossible that he is undrowned. It is as impossible that he did not drown. And he that sleeps here swims. Saying he survived is like saying that this man sleeping over here is actually swimming. Sebastian, I have no hope that he is undrowned. I also hold no hope that he is survived, that he has survived. Antonio, oh, out of that no hope, what great hope have you? Oh, but from that no hope arise amazing hopes for you. No hope that way is another way so high a hope that even ambition cannot pierce a wink beyond, but doubt discovery there. No hope for Ferdinand's survival is for you so high a hope that not even ambition for greatness could imagine anything higher or even entirely believe that this possibility exists. Will you grant with me that Ferdinand is drowned? Do you agree with me that Ferdinand has drowned? Sebastian says, of course, he's gone. He's dead. Antonio, then tell me who's the next heir of Naples. Then tell me who's the heir to the throne of Naples. Sebastian says, Claribel. Sebastian, she that is Queen of Tunis. Who? Claribel Alonso's daughter, who is now Queen of Tunis. She that dwells 10 leagues beyond man's life. 10 leagues means 30 miles. Beyond man's life means she who lives 30 miles farther than a lifetime's journey from Italy. She that from Naples can have no more. She wouldn't even receive a letter, have no note, sorry. Antonio says here, she that from Naples can have no note. She wouldn't even receive a letter from here unless the sun were post that in the moon too slow. Unless it could somehow be delivered by the light of the sun because the man in the moon's too slow to deliver it. Till newborn chins be rough and razorable, in less than the time it takes a baby to grow old enough to shave, to use razors. She from whom we all were sea swallowed. Claribel was the cause of our ship getting swallowed by the sea. Though some cast again, though some of us have survived. And by that destiny to perform an act whereof what's past is prologue. Prologue is introduction. What to come in yours and my discharge. So here he says, though some of us have survived, and our survival suggests that it is our destiny to perform an act that in fact reenacts the past. Sebastian says, what stuff is this? What is this? Can how say you? What are you talking about? 'Tis true, my mother's daughter, Queen of Tunis, so is she heir of Naples. It's true that my brother's daughter is the Queen of Tunis as well as the heir to the throne of Naples. Twixt which regions there is some space, and that a great distance separate those two places. So I think this much is enough for today, children. We'll continue the scene in the next video, and that will be the last video of Act 2, Scene 1. Thank you.